Today is Monday, September 10th, 2012. This is the regular meeting of the White County Board of Commissioners. And if you would, please stand. Got the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We've got, for invocation, we've got Reverend Sam Burleson, family and children's pastor at the Bridge Church. Sam, good to meet you. And if you would, bless these proceedings, please.
Let us pray. Gracious and merciful God, God of wisdom, mercy, and grace, we call upon you this evening for your wisdom to descend upon these proceedings as we ponder the future of this county and the many items that lie on the agenda. We need your grace and your mercy to intervene in our lives. Father, I ask that you would enliven the discussion tonight with your presence and your mercy, and we thank you for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, moving on to our agenda, item 4. Consider adopting the minutes of the regular meeting held August 6, 2012. The called meeting was held, including the sealed executive session minutes, was held August 27, 2012. Gentlemen, I presume you've had an opportunity to review said minutes. Do I have a motion to approve said minutes?
Second.
Commissioner Bryant first, Commissioner Goodger second. Any discussion? Having none, say aye. Approve? Aye. All right. No, say likewise. All right. Motion carries. Minutes adopted. If you would also, and I forget to do this myself sometimes, please silence your cell phones, pagers, put them on vibrate. Like I said, I'm bad to forget to do mine myself sometimes. So anyway, under acknowledgments, under item 5, we have with this Boy Scout Troop number 48. And the gentleman, my understanding is here, you're working on one of your merit badges. If you don't mind, I'd like for each of you, please stand and give us your name. And we'll start with the troop commander.
I'm David Dockery. I'm the Scoutmaster of Troop 48. And we are working on our citizenship in the Community Merit Badge. And attending a local government meeting is one of the requirements. Thank you for having us today.
Where's y'all meeting?
Sir?
Where do y'all meet?
We meet at the Scout Hut that's over on Jess Hunt Road that's owned by the local American Legion Post.
Let's go out of the room if it's okay. And guys, if you'll give us your name, please, that'd be great. Start in the back row.
My name's Jackson Dockery.
Jackson.
I'm Tyler McElroy. I'm Jacob Ivey.
I'm Jesse Gully.
Luke Salvos.
Max.
Alex Singer.
Alex. All right, well, guys, thank you. We appreciate you guys attending. And who knows, 20 years from now, you may be sitting here in these seats that we're sitting in. But I do want to encourage you, take what you learned from the Scouts, apply that to your lives, your daily walk with your family, because it's stuff, it's values that you'll be able to carry with you and help instill into your children as you get older. So, anyway, guys, thank y'all for being with us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Moving on to our agenda, and let me state for the record that after our regular meeting, we do have an executive session to discuss some legal matters after our regular meeting, so let me state that for the record. Under our consent agenda, these are items that we discussed in our work session, that there was a common kind of consensus already on these matters, so they're placed on something called the consent agenda. And item 6, consider adopting a resolution approving year-end budget amendments for fiscal year 2012. And Ms. Sue, for you, Ms. Vicki, thank y'all for providing that summary sheet. Thank you. Item 7, consider adopting a resolution approving the social media policy for inclusion in the White County Personnel Management System. Item 8, consider approving the supplemental agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation for a time extension on the off-systems safety improvement project. Item 9, consider providing U.S. Forest Service Title III funds to the Sky Lake Property Owners Association to be utilized in their efforts to obtain FireWise community certification. And item 10, consider approval of the marketing agreement required for enrolling in the Coast to Coast Discount Prescription Program as promoted by the ACCG, which is the ACCG State Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, in order for uninsured and underinsured White County residents to have access to the discount program. Gentlemen, any concerns regarding the consent agenda?
I got one question on item 10.
All right.
Do we not recognize, do we not have an agreement with somebody right now on the insurance?
That's
Or,
the, all business, the other company.
NACO, is it NACO?
We do have,
Well, is that something we'll have to vote on to stop, or is that something that we can just
I think that just continues.
discontinue?
Just, yeah.
Well, you know, I saw on this where we're talking, I believe I saw 55%. Did I see, did I not see that? There was a 55% discount on some cases on drugs?
I believe so.
What did I say?
Yeah, for uninsured
For
or
uninsured,
uninsured.
yeah. Okay, that's it. I just knew we had something in place. You know, I just
We
wanted-
do have, but it continues.
All right. Okay, any other comments from the board? Okay, having none, I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda being items 6, 7, 8, and 9, 8, 9, and 10, as I just presented.
So moved.
Second. Okay, Commissioner Hoffman first, Commissioner Goodyear second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, consent agenda approved. All right, folks, we've got so many papers up here, sometimes it's not funny, so bear with me if I'm quiet for a few moments. Under new, I don't have any items under old business. Moving along to new business. Item 11, consider awarding the contract for the White County Senior Center Expansion Center Project. Senior Center Expansion Project. Mr. Melton, any comments, or Kevin, our SLOSS manager, any comments you guys like to make?
No, other than what you see before you is the culmination of, the process as outlined in the Georgia procurement regulations. It was followed to a T, and that recommendation you see before you is the recommendation of the selection committee that you appointed.
Gentlemen, any other questions during this time? For either Kevin or Mike?
That committee, for people that don't know what was here tonight, the committee consists of Terry, Mike, Kevin, and Ms. Bonnie, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. Melton, will you describe for the audience, because there's a lot of folks in the audience who were not here when we discussed this in a work session, how the grading criteria operates? If you don't mind, you or Kevin, I want one of you to do it though.
Okay.
Kevin, you want to
Sure.
take a shot at that?
The procurement method that was used was an RFP process, and in that,
Explain RFP.
request for proposals, that was used to solicit proposals from specific or contractors. It was issued to the public at large, advertised for 4 weeks. Proposals were received. White County received 9 proposals in all. The selection committee took those independently and looked at those with score sheets and turned their score sheets in to the clerk independent of any conversations or things of that nature. The committee convened last week, and Shanda had accumulated the scores on the scoring sheet, And she had an average and a ranking based on that average. At that point, the committee discussed each proposal and then opened the pricing, reviewed the pricing, and added a score to each price that was turned in. And the culmination of those scores led to the recommendation, and those were added up strictly across the board. And score sheets were turned in completely blind. So, you know, that was the process in a nutshell.
And on your score sheets, gentlemen, I think you'll see of course, the number one recommendation, and then down the line from there, the second, third, fourth recommendations according to their the total points assigned over in the right-hand column. And of course, you see the cost proposals next to that, the cost of each cost that we were given.
This for discussion with the board, I'd open up originally, it's been several, if not a couple of years ago, several months ago, the Board of Commissioners had set a budget of approximately $500,000 to $550,000, and the county was awarded a CDBG, that's CDBG grant award, the amount $300,000 that will be used toward the senior center, and the county is going to, I'll say, chip in. We're putting a lot, $250,000, which has been a project right at $550,000. What we were looking at on the county side directly. Now the senior center itself has raised approximately $50,000. Ms. Bonnie, how much is the senior center? They're going to be used. That money is going to be used for FF&E. That's internally. Those monies are not to be used. We made that very clear many moons ago. That the money the seniors have raised is used for the inside. How much is the seniors raised?
$57,000.
It is $57,000. Okay. All right. Well, based upon the recommendation, what I'm reading here by staff and from the grading committee is Scroggs and Grizzle. Mr. Melton, am I reading this correctly?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
So they contingency, you're right on the line, pretty close.
Well, contingency was added in there afterwards, and it's not the contractors, it's ours. If the project should run into anything out there that, in a remodeling job that we didn't see, we think that there's quite possible might be something in the air conditioner, maybe something in the electrical that wasn't noted. And so those contingencies is so we don't have to shut the job down, because we're going into the winter months and it's going to get to be kind of critical if we finish this.
Okay. Well, on the pretense, if we were to, if we award this contract to Scroggs and Grizzle tonight, when prior approval, our part, $250,000, we're going to have to approve where the rest of the funds are going to come from, correct?
That's correct, and Kevin was going to point that out in his presentation.
In the
SPOS
presentation.
I can go ahead and do it now.
I think that would be good, because before we vote, and I'll allow a vote on this, we've got to, not only us, but also the citizens know, well, you know, I'm figuring up about $38,000 approximately I'm coming up with difference.
Can I ask one question before we do that? When we was talking to the architect about this, did he not give us an estimated cost?
We're right there close to what
Is this number close to that?
his number is almost, it was about 580 or something like that, but 578 or something like that.
Okay. Kevin, why don't we, folks, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and let Mr. Hamby present item 17, which is our SPOS update. Is that where you want to go, Kevin?
Sure.
Let's go ahead and do that before we come back. The vote and directions board.
Gotta let the tubes warm up a little bit in the projector. Okay. It'll get brighter as we go. What you see on this sheet, this is the same project sheet that you've seen, but one thing that's a major difference in this version and what you've seen before is there's a lot of white and not a lot of yellow. So a lot of projects have been closed out. A lot of projects are in their final state. So staff's recommendation for the senior center in terms of the encumbrance would be $370,000, which includes, we've got the contingency monies. We've got contingency monies included inside the contract. We've got contingency monies there. This gives an owner's contingency outside of the construction contract for anything else, any other potential problems that may come up.
Kevin, I want to interrupt you on that. Okay, you're talking about encumbering $370,000 is the 08 SPOS.
Right.
Okay, we've already got approval from DCA for $300,000 grant. 300 plus 370, $670,000.
But you have to take 6% off of the 300,000,
Okay.
and then that's 18,000 there. And then there's the contractor's contingency. But what this would do is possibly allow for any other improvements. Like I know there've been some discussions on parking lots and some other things that.
Okay. All right. There's more in here in just the senior center itself. You're talking about the parking lot improvements, all that being, okay. Now, I'm trying to figure out where you're going with the rest of the money.
Yeah, that's it. 'Cause, there've been some discussions about access and the new guard line with the jail and other things like that.
Okay.
So we've included a budget in there to handle that as well outside of Scroggs and Grizzle's contract.
Okay. So the amount of money that you have encumbered in there for the senior center is?
The amount of money that would be, let me do the math. I mean, all of it would be associated with the senior center per se. That would be Scroggs and Grizzle's contract, which would be,
What was the CDBG range, 250 or 300?
yeah, which you're actually going to get $282,000 in the bank, and then the encumbrance for the senior center proper would be $649,359. The contract is $618,437 that you see before you.
Say that again for the record, please.
$618,437. So that should match up with what's in your packets. And then we added some money to do the drive improvements and access improvements, which brings it up to $649,359. Subtract $282,000, which is what you're actually going to get from the CDBG once the percentage is taken out, and that gives you $367,359. We rounded that up to $370.
Based upon your analysis of OA SPOS, let's see, we've got, go to the next page, show us what we've got left over.
Right now we're projecting, and where the real the real story is, you know, we saved money on the Halsey Road lift station, we saved money on the jail, and then your August SPOS check was, we were projecting $270 a month, you received $330. So that's $60,000 over and above projections that's rolled up into the number. So your expected balance at the end, if you maintain the road project for package B, the road project's at $847,203, which is what we set aside for Town Creek Church Road and those things. If you maintain that and didn't go over budget there, then the expected balance at the end of the program would be $3,398,662. And that's encumbering $370 to do the senior center and associated site improvements with excess and that kind of thing.
None of the money's available to use for other roads and other projects.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Yeah, the 3.4 million would be over and above
And
everything.
I'm kind of reiterating everything, because most folks in the audience, I don't mean this to sound mean, don't understand what we're looking at here. That's why I want everybody to have an idea of what we're reading and what we're looking at.
And I stare at this stuff all the time.
So that's the problem.
Well, that 3.4 million, that's taken out the encumbrance.
Yes, sir, and that's taken out the work package B for the road
Road
department.
projects.
On that fiscal year 13 right there, actual through August, when was that closed, in November or October?
No, that's
Or did it close at the end of the year?
that's through check number 33. So that's how much you'll get in fiscal year 13. That's actually your two checks into fiscal year 13, July and August.
Okay.
And then in June, yeah.
But you just had for actual through August, and I was wondering how far does that can go through?
That one, fiscal year 2012 goes through June next year. But your number that we're projecting out is 270.
I think what he's looking for is that November would be 36, and it's 2 years after that, the months, how far into the year, or the fiscal year. I know I understand, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a 5-year swash. and-
Our 08 SPOS will end October 31st,
Yeah.
2014.
Can I flip up another slide real quick?
Is that what you're asking to? Yes. Okay.
Your last check will be November of 2014. That's check 60. So that'll be your last check. And you can see here, that was your July check, check 33. And that's your history. Like FY 2012, you averaged 289,000 in fiscal year 200. Fiscal year 2012, you averaged 288,787.
And for our cash flow purposes, you're budgeting to averaging 270 a month, we just received 330,
Yes, sir. That is
which
correct.
is it's a tremendous blessing.
Be a lot more.
If you exceed the magic number you look for every single month is 270. If you exceed 270, which you can see last year you averaged 288. If you exceed 270 a month in the 3.4 number, that drops straight to the bottom line.
And folks, I think the majority of the commissioners sitting on this board, just because you get more than you're expecting, that don't mean you spend.
Right.
That's,
Well, this is also not money that can be spent on anything, right?
It's,
all that.
well, and for clarification purposes, it's referred to as a 2000 case loss. And I'm actually saying this mostly for our Boy Scout crew. This stuff may sound like free. I mean, I understand. But there's 1% sales tax that every time you go to the store and you buy a candy bar, it's $1. All right, there's 7 cents on that dollar's one tax. All right, SPOS, that 1 extra cent went from 6 to 7%. All right, that's what we're talking about. That 1 cent sales tax is what is funding this program. And the citizens of the county voted that this sales tax would go through October 31st or November 2014. We just voted as a community in March of this year to continue that SPOS for an additional 6 years. So we're good through, it won't end, the sales tax itself will not end in November 2014. It'll go on, so don't let it think that's the end of it. Did I just confuse you even more?
I think he was trying to encourage them.
I was trying to
handle
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Locally.
I think you'll find too, one of the big drivers of your sales tax is the price of gasoline. The higher the gas goes, the more sales tax goes. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. If gas comes back in, I think it's sales tax.
So they not guaranteed that it was.
And Walmart.
Walmart hadn't heard anything.
No, Walmart has had it.
Okay, all right. Kevin, was that the last step?
Well,
Slideshow?
that is, but this, again, I want to point out that that also includes, the discussions that we've been having about the road department with the vehicle and work package B. So that also includes those encumbrances and the budgets that you set in a prior meeting. So as long as Keith and Doug, Roland didn't exceed those numbers, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, we'll be in good shape.
All right. Is there any other questions for Kevin related to the SPOS projects? Okay, now let's bring this thing back around to item 11 on the senior center. I'm gonna say it for the record. I'm not gonna mince words. It's eye-opening, in the fact that our low bid, as well as one of our higher rated out contracting companies, Scroggs and Grizzlies, which has a good reputation. You've got them coming in, like you said, at $618,437, where it looks like the majority of the bids come in the early to mid 700s. So we're talking about 25% difference between the low bid and the. I'm concerned something's not gonna come back and bite us. I mean, that's just putting it bluntly.
There's a couple of more bids in there.
There's not a whole much over in the
There's
700s.
996, 682.
That's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the 700s. I'm just saying out loud, it's a good bid, it's a low price. I love going to low bid, but
Well,
we're talking about several thousands of dollars difference.
and again, the selection committee had the same concern, and had the same concern to the point that, we brought, the selection committee as a whole, brought Scroggs and Grizzle in and made them walk us through the project, sheet by sheet.
Okay.
And, that was the same exact concern. Walk through the project sheet by sheet, and they seemed to have a good grasp of what was going on.
And they've dealt with DCA projects,
They're-
CDBGs.
They've dealt with, a few of those.
Now, I think for the most part, the citizens of White County, the amount of money we're talking about, the low bids compared to the average bids, it's just phenomenal.
The
I'd run
average-
myself out of office if I didn't go low bid on this.
Commissioner Bryant brought up a very good point. That price on the award also has a 5% contingency, so their actual price to do the work is below the number you see for a project award. So there's 5% contingency inside the project to cover anything that may go wrong, throughout the process.
Outside of contingencies, is there anything that can bite us in the rear end on this?
We looked over all that stuff pretty good, and he had a couple of things on there that, I guess the roof was one of the big problems that, all the contractors had a question about. And we looked at that, and we decided to go with, the idea of replacing all of the roof panels, which we took an ad on there so that it wouldn't look patched. And, that and the fact that, we, took a deduct for the operable wall in there, which, we, agreed, that didn't necessarily need to be in there. And also changed, to add, there's one item that, using, putting concrete right in front of the drive-through, right in front, just added $1,000 to the thing, which was a lot better than having asphalt out there. It should have been there on the plans. So there was a couple of little add-ons and a couple of deducts that we took to come down to this number.
Okay. All right.
Aren't we talking about, from what I can see here, and I'm not wrong, I'm talking about savings for cost of $125,000?
That's my question. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if it wasn't a reputable contractor,
Oh, yeah, well, we don't think hard. We've got this, I know the committee worked hard. If this is the recommendation of the committee, then I feel good with it.
All right. Well, let's just cut to the chase, gentlemen. Do you make that form of motion?
I'll make a motion that we go with the recommendation of the committee that goes Scroggs and Grizzle. With the agency.
All right.
Second for discussion.
Commissioner Hawkins first, Commissioner Bryant second, for discussion.
You know, put in there not to exceed a certain amount, that particular bid. You put a cap on it, or did you?
We have a contingency in there where you won't exceed that 618.
618.
Just for the record, though.
yeah, it's already kept.
I think that would be a good idea. As much as we can.
Because, you know, we started, what, 4 years ago, we must spend 250, and then.
Hey, let me tell you, this project has been discussed way before I came on board.
That'll be the price that'll be in the contract.
I just wanted it on the list.
We just put that amount for the cap.
Okay. All right, so what we have, Commissioner Hawkins, let me reiterate this. We have a motion to approve Scroggs and Grizzle contract not to exceed $618,437 to construct the remodeling in addition to the senior center. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You finish with your discussion? Okay. All right, any other discussion amongst the board? Ms. Bonnie, I almost feel like I need to ask you to ask for a vote on this, because you guys have been waiting so long.
Yeah, we've been working this for how long, Bonnie?
5, 6, 7 years.
This has been the key, hasn't it?
I do think we eventually, at some point, will have to look at, whether it's 5 years, 10 years down the road, another location, because our senior population is growing and will continue to grow in our community. So I think this is all right, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm messing myself. I've got a first. I've got a second. All right, the discussion closed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Ms. Bonnie, how would you tell Mr. Ray? How would you call him? Tell him he can rest easy.
He's 90 years old, he just wants to see the bill before
Yeah.
he leaves.
If you would, show, real quick for all of
Yes.
us. This is one of the joys of being chairman, I get to do this. Give a quick story about Mr. Ray and his wife that have been, not just pushing for this project, they've been very instrumental in fundraising for the senior center. Give it just a short blurb if you don't mind.
Well, they pushed all of us, y'all and me included, to get this addition, because we are growing so fast. They got out all through the winter, that first winter, and sold tickets to raise money, and had all kind of sales, yard sales. We did sales for years there to raise the money we've got.
Well,
So they have worked very hard.
would you do me a favor, would you call them?
I will.
They're good puzzle putter together, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I want y'all to call Scroggs and Grizzle. Down to get on it. Let's get these sharps in here. All right. Okay. All right, item 12. Consider awarding the contract for Town Creek Road leveling and overlay. All right. Keith, any comments, Keith?
We received bids back on that project, on the Town Creek Road project. The low bid was Colts Trucking at $517,438.74. That was a low bid. The next bid was about $11,000 higher, and top three were within around $20,000 for each other. So, the road department's recommended that we accept this bid. Cole's Trucking.
Doug, that's not what we had a problem with years ago, but
Yeah, but they straight racked up, they're doing pretty decent work. They've done work.
I ain't gonna go for it again, we did last.
Yeah, they just finished stuff up. This Tappan Stadium, right with them.
We had a project by them with them last year, if you remember.
I know a couple, 3 years ago, we got smoked on one.
So we stayed right with them and they came in under. And this is leveling and resurfacing, there's no patching and that type of thing in it, it's something that they do. Fact is, they had our LMIG work as well, the local grant from the DOT. They just wrapped a part of that, over on 3 roads, Shoal Creek Church, Town Creek Church Road, and Westmoreland West.
As usual, as common policy, we'll hold a retainage at the very end to make sure everybody's, Doug and his staff, the road department, please. So, don't let those funds go till we make sure T's crossed and I's are dotted. All right, gentlemen, your pleasure. Do I have a motion to award the contract for Town Creek Road leveling and overlay?
Motion to award the contract to Copeland's.
Okay, $517,438.74. Commissioner Nix first. Second. Commissioner Goodger second. Any discussion? Having none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Before you move to the next thing, can I bring something up to your attention?
Yeah,
About the
please.
same project.
Hey, please.
When I first set Town Creek Road up, the project, the termini that I chose was from 115 out to Town Creek Church Road, which was the LMIG project. So basically, the road would be resurfaced all the way to Lumpkin County that direction, and that's where the majority of the traffic's going. But since that time, I found out that there's also a county line 1,950 feet on Town Creek Road beyond the intersection there. And because our bids came in so low, what I'm recommending or asking is that you would consider extending the Town Creek Road project. It's 0.37 miles, it's 1,950 feet. If the contractor is agreeable to do it for the same unit prices. And I have a copy of the supplemental agreement here that I'd like for y'all to consider. It doesn't go that far. It's only going to go to the first place where it goes into Lumpkin County, which is only just past the winery there.
Right past 8 Hour Mill Road, right?
Goes past 8 Hour Mill and goes past the winery. The actual county line sign is up past Paradise Valley, but part of that road's inside Lumpkin County. So I'm talking about the first point where it goes into Lumpkin County. We actually patched to that point and stopped.
I don't see a problem with that as long as we get the same unit price.
It's just over $28,000 to add to the project. You can see on page number 3, it gives you a breakdown of the original contract amount and the increased amount, and what the new total would be, $546,423.02. If you agree, what I'm asking you to do is to agree to do it if the contract, contingent upon the contractor signing this document. In other words, we can't award it to them until they sign this document.
Okay.
We're gonna throw another 28,000 to the other places, the other people that bid, they get a chance to get a deal. And this is the lowest one, but that out of 3. You see what I mean? You got open bid, then you're gonna throw another 30,000 to it. Just a question.
Well, under county criteria, once we've awarded a low bid for a project, we have the ability to negotiate with the contractor, correct?
There's not a guarantee that they'll accept this price. If they don't accept this price, then we just don't do it.
Just go as far as you can.
Right.
Just have.
All right, funding.
Yeah, unit price contracts are a little bit different than competitive bid or RFP price proposals. I mean, you already have price per ton, you just extend it out. I have a question. What was your original estimate?
For Town Creek Road?
Just Town Creek?
602.
Okay, that's right. That's
602,000.
right.
So we're still well under the.
So we're close, yeah, we're a little over $50,000.
Let me do this. I've already got a motion, first and second, it's an approved item, from Coldus on 517,438. Instead of backtracking, pulling that motion off to put total, what was you saying, the footage of that was .394 miles?
It's point 37, it's 1,950 feet.
1,950 feet. Okay, because that's gonna be in the motion. I'm gonna ask for it. Try to script this.
And what I'm asking is that you consider approving it contingent upon their approval. In other words, that would give you the ability to sign it if they approve it.
Okay.
If they agree to it.
You'll need a midnight motion to that.
We're gonna have, we've already went through all that, we'd have to. Yeah, what I wanna do is just, have a new motion for $28,984.28 to pave an additional 1,950 feet on Town Creek Road contingent upon Coldix agreeing to the same, price per footage
Right.
that they had, that we had just awarded.
So moved.
Second.
Don't ask me to say that twice. Yeah, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, and, Ms. Shanda will have fun when she gets back from the meeting, she'll get to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Thank you.
move on. All right. Item 13, consider awarding the contract for the White County Facilities Sign Project. I'm gonna be blunt, I don't like the prices. And that, the project is just,
I don't like the prices, and plus, we didn't have any participation. I'd like to make a motion if it's offered to do that, we did bid this project.
all right, I'll keep it simple. I got first rebid the sign project, Commissioner Holcomb, Commissioner Nick second. No discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, let's rebid that project.
Okay. I got, just so the board knows, I got a call this afternoon from the sign company wanting to bid on it. So,
Yeah, I think we can do the citizens a much better,
I agree.
than what we proceed. Okay, item 14, consider awarding the bid for purchase of road department vehicles. There we go, through the 30 page. Okay, in my package, I've got, we received bids, one from a David Shook on a 2000 Mack, in the amount of $44,000. That particular truck, we received an additional bid for sale from a Ralph Grizzle, amount of $32,000 for a 2003 Mack. Any comments from the board regarding these two bids?
Well, I think the board realizes and knows the economy that we're living in, that, there's a lot of good used stuff out there that saves us a ton of money. So that's the reason we've looked at this like we have on this one, so. I think the staff done a pretty good job bringing this back to us.
Yeah, because we were originally looking at what a project cost and how much.
We originally looked at $120,000 for one truck, wouldn't we, Doug?
$160,000.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be able, it looks like, if we accept this motion and get this passed, two trucks, the amount of for $76,000, we'll get two trucks. And, warranty on these trucks.
10 minutes, 10 miles.
No, I think, they probably warranty on the engines, ain't they, Doug?
I doubt it.
I thought, I know most of them trucks, when you buy them, I don't know where that warranty's where you transfer that warranty or not, but most of those engines are warranted for like 1 million miles.
It would be up to whatever dealer they bought them from.
Do you know where those come from? Did they come from?
One comes from Gainesville, and I'm not sure where the other comes from.
Be worth looking into because.
Yes, they're Mack engines, being Mack trucks, they're Mack engines. Y'all think about the mileage on these trucks, that old Mack truck we got down there now, it's got 1,600,000 miles on it.
I've got a Volvo, it's got 1,000,000 miles on it.
The only major thing that's ever been done to it, I built the engine about 7 years ago.
And I think if you'll talk to you'll find out that those engines might have a 1,000,000-mile warranty on them. Just depends on where they was bought, whether they was bought new or used or what.
Has it got another 1,000,000 miles in it? Has it got another 1,000,000 miles in it?
What do you think we're buying a truck for?
I think they go to.
Okay.
Do you have to do
All right.
any bed work or anything, or are these trucks ready to go?
Oh, they're ready to go now, but what I'd like to do is take the body off of one of them and have a new spreader box put on it.
Well, I heard we talked about this recently.
Yeah. Chandler told me they would build us one with a roller bottom in it for the same price as any other. And the guy over here in Cornelia is about $11,000 higher.
What can you get a roller body for?
21. $21,823.20.
So you're just gonna, if we buy these two used trucks, you're gonna decide which one of those trucks is the best truck for the spreader body, which one's the best to
And
leave
then if
on.
we have to bring in, put that money in there, you'll bring it back to us and let us know which one you want to put it on. All right, well, item we have in front of us right now is, do I have a motion to accept these two bids for an 2000 Mack, amount of $44,000, and an 03 Mack, $32,000?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. You first? Mr. Nix first, Mr. Bryant second. Any discussion amongst the board? Have none in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries.
I got one more question. It takes from 8 to 10 weeks to get one of these spreader bodies. Can I go ahead and put the order in for it?
Probably need to,
That's what, I mean, that's what we bid out.
probably need to get a bid on it, more than likely, that's from a couple of, two, three different ones, is what they'll charge you for that.
I've already got that.
Oh, you
I've
already
got
got
two bids. I told two companies that built them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is anything over $5,000 has got to be bid. You follow where I'm going there. So, long story short, you're gonna need to bring that back to us, make sure it's going through the right bidding process. I'm not trying to just prolong it, but there's certain criteria we've got to go through.
Yeah.
Trust me, if I was in this lumberyard, I know what I'd do, but, that's one of the joys of working for government.
Yeah.
So,
That's where I got these figures.
but if you'll do this, and we may be having an additional meeting in the next couple of weeks anyway. So if we do, if I have a special call meeting, we can put that on the agenda. Okay, so if you'll get with, Mr. Melton and Ms. Shannon when she returns.
We're going to take care of it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. All right. Item 15, consider appointments to the White County YMCA Governing Board. We have two reappointments for one-year term expiring July 1st. Mr. Dustin Halsey and Mr. Michael Clapton, as well as we have an additional one new appointment for a term expiring January 1st, 2014. In order to end the stagnant terms, that's where Mr. or Reverend John Yarborough has asked not to go back on the board. Since this was printed, we have received a applicant in Mr. John Estes. So what I'd like to do is ask for a motion to reappoint Mr. Dustin Halsey, Mr. Michael Clapham, as well as new board member John Estes to fill the term that Reverend John Yarborough is vacating.
Move with one.
Okay, Mr. Goody first.
Second.
Commissioner Hoffman second. Any discussion? Have you none? Say, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Got ahead of myself there, sorry about that. Item 16, consider designation of White County's voting delegate for the 2012 Legislative Conference, which will be held August 1st, 2012. You going, Archie?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is going to go? You going to go? Lee's going. Okay, but I think we just appoint one.
One vote, one vote.
Everyone's sitting. All right. Keep it simple. Do I have a motion to accept Edwin Nixon being the legislative delegate?
So moved.
Commissioner Hoffman first, Commissioner Goodger second. You know,
I guess I got a whole lot
you
to
don't
say
have
about
the
this.
full
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
We didn't ask for the no vote.
Folks, what we're gonna look at here is the financial snapshot of the county financials, simple as that.
This is unaudited figures. Everything is still subject to the change. This is for July. Our budgeted revenues for fiscal year 13 are $13,235,541. During July, we collected $648,138 versus July of 2011 was $94,422. It's up by $553,716. But this is again misleading. The July collections for a previous year have not been taken out. So according to these figures, we have collected 4.9% of our revenues. Once the auditors are done, then we can get some good concrete figures. This is the alcohol-related fees. So far this year in wine tax, we've collected $3,483, and in the beer tax, $8,517, and miscellaneous fees for $12,220.
Folks, just for the record, the county's fiscal year does not start January 1st, it starts July 1st. So don't think this is 8, 9 months worth of, this is
1 month.
Yes.
This is for the month of
Okay.
July, so it's only for 1 month. Our fiscal year 13 expenditures in general fund, we had budgeted $13,235,541. During July, we spent $880,568 versus July of 2011 of $876,093. Expenditures are up $4,475. They are approximately 6.7% of the budget has been spent, and July represents 8.3% of the full year. This is the expenditures by function. The percent expended under general government was 7%, judicial was 10%, public safety was 5%, public works were 5%, culture, recreation 8%, housing and development 5%, health and welfare 16%, and agriculture 6%, for a total of 6.7. Hotel motel tax, during July we collected $67,145. Local option sales tax, July's payment was $185,623, which, as you can see from June of 2012, is up. The SPLOST update, the receipts started in December 2009. It's a 60-month SPLOST. July 2012 is the 32nd month of the 60. The year-to-date receipts are $8,881,624, and distributed to the cities were $2,309,222, and the county's portion is $6,572,402. The July SPLOST that was received was as Kevin was talking about, $309,370.
And this is the July recap.
Right.
Mine includes August. So that's a little bit different there. But your August check was $330.
The separate funds budget to actual, just the total budget less the revenues, less the expenditures. 2.8% of solid waste, 911 6%, drug task force 8%, emergency services. There's the 7.6. We have not received our insurance premium tax. That usually comes in October, so that number will change. The senior center 3.2, and the judicial circuit is 1.9. you have any questions?
Well, first, thank you for stepping in,
No problem.
presentation.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Folks, it's kind of difficult, especially in the first month under our belt, from our physical, financial perspective. One thing I personally always key in on, I always want to make sure the expenses are below the actual amount of months we've gone through. So we were at 6.7% on the budget of expenses, whereas the months were 8% a year. So as long as we keep that figure below, hopefully we can, like we did last year, expenses kick down at a greater clip. Guys, any comments, questions for Ms. Sue? Thank you. And on the audit, how's it coming along?
They'll be here next week. And we're pretty well ready for them.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate y'all's hard work too.
No problem.
Okay. Mr. Melton.
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Thank you. At each meeting, I kind of direct this to our scouts. We open up the floor for a few moments. If any of you or anybody in the audience would like to make any comments for the good of the cause, or if you would, please stand and state your name and your address for the record. Otherwise, anybody. Yes, sir.
My name's Leon Hughes. I'm here representing as a volunteer Square Foot Ministry, which is in conjunction with American Home Place, and I'm sure most of you have seen this article in the paper where we're building a residence for a disabled vet from right here in White County. United Community Bank donated a lot in Sky Mountain, and I'm here to beg the commission to waive the permit fee for the house.
This is for Mr. Woods.
Pardon?
Mr. Woods. What's the name? The veteran?
James Wood is the
That's-
veteran, right?
That's
Right.
in the paper.
Yeah. So that's what I'm here doing, is begging, to see if they wouldn't waive the permit fee. We are in the process of grading and clearing the lot at this point, and, have already ordered with the septic people to get the septic system in right away. We've already permitted it.
For the record, what would be the permit fee?
$435.
What do we need to do to waive that?
Just make a motion.
I don't have a problem making a motion to waive it.
I'll make a motion.
We
Okay.
waive that fee.
All right, Commissioner Halton. Mr. Bryant, second. All right, what we have on the table, I got a first and second to waive the $435 permit fee, for the building of the house for the disabled vet, Mr. Wood. Any discussion? I'll keep it simple. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say no.
Thank you very much.
All right. Anything else? Yes, Ms. Judy.
My name is Judy Lovell, and I represent White County Historical Society. And Mr. Chairman and Councilman, we, on behalf of the Board of Directors, we appreciate the help that you gave us in purchasing video equipment to record White County history and make that available to the public. Thank you.
Thank y'all for what y'all do.
Thank y'all for what you do.
It's a great piece of equipment. Everyone I saw it the other day.
Well, I'm gonna give you kudos on something. A lot of folks making comments how well the old courthouse is looking. I mean, I'm getting some very positive feedback. And unfortunately, we always hear the bad stuff. There's some good stuff going on. So
We like the good
share with your board that we said thank you. Please.
We'd like to encourage
And
you
our
to
volunteers.
participate. There's a lot of interesting talk goes on up there, so you need to go up there and listen to it. It's amazing some stuff that's went on in this county in the last 150, 200 years.
155 this year.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yes, sir.
John Lumsden, speaking on behalf of the Sky Lake Property Owners Association. Just want to say thank you for approving the transfer for the grant monies for the Firewise program. We'll certainly put it to good use and keep y'all updated to the progress.
Well, thank y'all for y'all's work, too. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Okay.
I don't believe we've ever had 3 thank yous in one night.
Please, put this in the newspaper. Please, Okay. All right, like I said a little while ago, we've got to go to executive session. So folks, I hope everybody has a great night. And do I have a motion to go into executive session? Ryan first, Mr. Hawkins second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Folks, thank you. Have a good evening.
Stay on the next meeting.
Oh.
Next meeting.
Yeah, we've got, and actually we don't have anything down because we've got to work on some schedules, so bear with me. Ms. Shanda's out. We should have a work session on the 24th at 4:30.
And the regular meeting.
Regular meeting will be on the 1st, but won't you guys be gone?
Yeah.